All right, so today we are going to talk about the V2 rule, or the verb second rule in German. So when we're writing sentences about weather or about other things as well, in German we have a rule where our verb is always second. So if we write a sentence such as, Es ist sonnig, it is sunny, ist is my verb. It means is, or the verb to be. And it's the second thing in my sentence. Es comes first, ist, my verb, comes second, and sonnig comes third. Or any other information that I might have comes after the verb. However, in German, we are very particular about our times. So we often like to really emphasize what time things are happening, so we start with the time first in our sentence. Now, when we do that, it changes our sentence a little bit, but our verb will stay second. So we might say something like, Heute ist es sonnig. Today it is sunny. I'm starting with my time today because I really want to emphasize the time that this is happening. So you'll notice that my verb is still ist, and my verb still comes second. So now I have my time first, heute, my verb comes second, and then es, which used to be first, now comes third, because when I add that time and I have that be the first word, it pushes that other word to go after the verb so that my verb stays second. And then sonnig, of course, also gets pushed a little bit and becomes fourth. So my verb stays in the second position. It's just that everything else kind of shifts down a little bit when I start with a time. Now let's look at what that looks like in maybe a slightly longer sentence. Say we want to say that es gibt einen Regenbogen. There is a rainbow. In this case, gibt is my verb, and it comes second. Es gibt. There is. A rainbow is what comes afterwards, what there is. So es comes first, my verb gibt will be second, and einen Regenbogen, the thing that there is, comes third. Now, once again, if I want to really emphasize when this rainbow is showing up or when it was, then I would start with a time. So I might say something like, Am Mittwoch gibt es einen Regenbogen. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. Gibt is my verb, and it's still second. However, when I say that the verb is second, I don't mean that it's the second word. I mean that it's the second thing. Because am Mittwoch, on Wednesday, goes first. Those two words are actually a phrase, and they have to stay stuck together. I couldn't say something like, gibt Mittwoch es einen Regenbogen, because then I'd be saying something crazy like, on is Wednesday there a rainbow, and that doesn't quite make sense. So the verb is the second thing in my sentence, but not necessarily the second word. So am Mittwoch, my time comes first, my verb comes second, es, which used to be first and got pushed back, now becomes third, and einen Regenbogen becomes fourth. So it gets a little bit tricky if your time is multiple words, but you just have to think of them as a phrase that goes together and can't be separated. So then they are the first thing, and your verb is the second thing. And all the other information just comes afterwards. So always remember this. Your verb goes second in German. The verb goes second.